Most of the focus on campaign 2020 so far has been on the very crowded field of Democrats running for the right to face President Trump next fall. We thought we'd take a look at the campaign operation on the Republican side, which kicked off the very day he was inaugurated. Brad Parscale is the president's campaign manager and joins us. Welcome to Face the Nation.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's my first time here.
You've got kind of an unusual resume, a background in the digital space, in marketing. You had no political experience up until 2016.
Other than being an American.
But then you became a campaign manager this time around. Yeah. So is this really about marketing? Is that what political campaigns are about these days?
Running a re-election is a lot about marketing, advertising, understanding data and analytics, building out, foundational structures to understand the president's message and how to deliver it. There's considerable things that come from just understanding how to build out the infrastructure to be able to communicate with millions and tens of millions of people and how to effectively spend $500-600 million.
500 or 600?
Minimum.
I heard you say at one point up to $1 billion.
It could, but I'm talking about all the infrastructures, like the Republican Party is going to spend money, outside groups will spend money. We've already raised over $150 million, I believe, at this point, and we still got a long 19 months to go.
Raised from?
Small dollars. 95% of all of our money comes in through small dollars. One nice thing about small dollar donations is it lets people connect and know they're buying into the movement. Our prospecting numbers now are numbers people have never seen before. I hope to have 40-50 million people direct contacts by Election Day.
What does that mean, direct contacts?
So every campaign tries to go out and generate data. How do I connect to you by cell phone? How do I connect to you by email? So that I don't have to run an advertisement and pay CBS to get to you. I can just contact you.
That's email addresses, that's
cell phone numbers. We'll have, right now we're already passing 30-some million, and we're on course to probably go to 40-50 million, which is almost every voter that will vote for us for presidency. I can just call them or email them.
So explain how that fits into the digital strategy. That means I'm sitting in rural Iowa. You want me to vote for President Trump. Are you targeting me specifically?
Yeah, so what I do...
You're changing your message based on where someone is.
Think about it. I can go across America and say, hey, here's a voter in Minnesota that if I get 26,000 of these perfect people to show up, they didn't show up last time, I can flip that state. So what I do, go find them now. We're spending millions of dollars a month, light years ahead of any campaign in history, to build the foundation of who we need to market to, what we need to understand, what we need to say to them, and how to exactly deliver to them.
Where are you most focused?
Well, there's some key states. Obviously, we have to go back and win Michigan again, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. We plan on also being in Minnesota very soon. I think New Mexico is in play in 2020. I think New Hampshire. I think we continue to grow the map. I think Nevada, even Colorado. And so those are states we did not win in 2016 that I think are open for 2020.
But the idea in the past, as you brought up, TV ads is the traditional way, or has been, or rallies where you have someone going out and having face-to-face or door-to-door contact. Like, how much of the ground game is still part of the strategy for you now?
Huge amount. So we're still building one of the largest ground games in history. So I'll give you some numbers. In 2016, we had 700,000 about volunteers. We plan on 1.6 million volunteers for 2020.
And that's people going door to door?
Connected, all different kinds of things. They'll be connected through technology on your phone, through apps and other development and different things. Some people might just hold block parties. Some people might be engaging on social media. Some people might be knocking door to door. In every single metric, we're looking at being bigger, better and badder than we were in 2016. But this time, we're not out there trying to prove we can do something. The president has proved he has done it, and now we just have to deliver what he's done.
We'll have more of our interview with Brad Parscale in a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to Face the Nation. We continue our conversation with President Trump's campaign manager, Brad Parscale. Around the time of the shutdown, the 35-day shutdown we went through, there were fundraising ads going out to supporters saying, send a brick to Nancy.
Yeah, I love that idea.
Nancy being Speaker of the House, of course.
Yeah.
And this was a way to raise funds.
Yep.
How successful was a campaign?
Oh, that one was great. That was, a campaign like that could raise $3-4 million.
From these small dollar donors.
From small dollar donors. They want to be.
How does that work?
Well, they want to be part of an activity. They want to be involved. And this is a way that they got to buy a foam brick and get it labeled with their name and sent to Nancy Pelosi's office and say, build the wall. It's a way for them somewhere in the middle of Nebraska who's so far from the system but wants to be involved. This is a way for them to put $25, $45 and say, look, I want to make a difference. We do that with T-shirts. We do that with hats. We're closing on selling our 1 millionth red MAGA hat. Those are $45 a piece. Do the math there really quick. It's $45 million. So those kind of things, this president has changed the game in way merchandise, rallies, the entire experience of being part of the political movement. He's changed it.
But beyond the branding, the value to you campaign-wise is that you retain that information.
I retain information, and we get to keep the net proceeds.
But I'm curious, how does that affect the messaging? I mean, if these are people who feel motivated enough or want to be activist enough to give on the particular issue, is the president changing his messaging to match that, or is his agenda driven by the White House?
No. You're kind of twisting that a little bit.
Well, explain it.
So what happens is the president sets his policies. These are what they are. Now, those policies have a range of things. One person at 1300 Elm Street could really care about immigration, but at 1305 Elm Street, they could really care about tariff policy. Now, that doesn't mean we're changing what the president's message is to them. We're showing them the part of the message that's right for them.
And how much can you actually know about someone based on what text they've sent? I mean, do you know how they voted in the past or what motivated them last time?
So the Republican Party built this thing called the Data Trust, one of the largest databases in the world to understand what people are, and can now provide over to me a universe of people attached in the social media and or possibly by text message or different ways and say, hey, these are the people that are saying in the criteria you're speaking about.
How many rallies are we going to see President Trump out there doing?
Oh, a lot.
How involved is he in some of these decisions on messaging?
So I always explain it like this. He is the captain of the ship. He is the engineer of the Trump train. He is the campaign manager, the communications manager, the finance director, coalitions director, all things. My job is to be the Trump conductor. My job is to keep the cars together, keep them running on time, get them to the place they need to go.
You're a disruptor. The president also likes championing that. But you're talking now to people like Karl Rove, a Bush advisor. So since you've come to Washington, so to speak, has that changed you?
Yes, it's changed me. I have a lot less faith in the system. You really understand how swampy it is until you get here. I think as a disruptor, though, yes, in a history of, I think that those who don't understand history are due to repeat it in a positive or negative way. And for me not to understand what every predecessor of mine did and what they understood and how they thought, regardless of the technology at the time, would be doing a disservice to my boss.
So do you coordinate with Karl Rove?
It's not a coordination. It's a learning process. Hey, what did you do? Tell me your stories. What were the worst moments you had? What were the best moments? If you did it over again, what do you think you would do? How'd you handle this situation? Education, there's not a lot of people running around that have won elections on the Republican side or the Democrat side. I mean, the last guy to win a re-election is Karl Rove and Melman in 2004 for Republican. And before that, it was Reagan that won a re-election. So it's not like there's a club you can go to and there's just all these re-electing winning campaign managers.
So they're telling you how to build out a ground game.
No, not talk. No, now you're saying that. I'm asking them for historical context. They don't know what I know, and some things I don't know what they know. But they've had to live through it. And Karl's given me some great things afterwards, said, you know what? If I did it again, I would have done this, or I wouldn't have done that. And hindsight is a great weapon to have when you're up in front of it again.
So you like the establishment, but sometimes.
I don't like the establishment. I like the diversity of knowledge. And I'm going to use all of it I can to help get President Trump reelected again in 2020.
Brad Parscale, thank you for joining
Thank you.
us. We'll be right back with our political panel.